There we go. Yeah, we fired that other guy. We're back.
He
fired him for one day.
He did. He served his purpose there for a few years, but it's clear that he's lost it.
We got him back. Yeah. He's exciting still. Jay, we miss you, sort of, right now. Lee's going to do a good job. Hello, everybody. I'm David Burrows, along with my friend tonight, Lee Bazeley, joining me live from the concourse here at the Sarnia Sting. And, boy, there's excitement in the arena already for many, many different reasons. And, of course, I'm sure all of you have heard the news that Benny Gaudreau was traded away to the Erie Otters. And then Nolan Lalonde, who came in, didn't even make it here, and they sent him to Saginaw, right? So, but we got several round picks for Benny, and well, how are you feeling about that?
I am really, I can see it. It makes sense. I understand it.
Yeah.
I'm bummed out huge because,
Sure.
I was a huge Benny Gaudreau fan.
Yeah.
I'm a goalie
You
guy.
got Gaudreau in the back
I do
there,
got
right?
Gaudreau there.
There you go.
But, no, as bummed as I am that he's gone and we won't be seeing him here at the Hive this year, it makes sense. It makes sense for the team.
I was not surprised.
No, not surprised at all. This is his last year, so it's one of those situations where it's like, get something for him and have a future with the team, or have him play out the season, which, the majority of the players that carried the weight of this team deep into the playoffs last year have moved on to, bigger, better things. So it's kind of like,
well,
they're looking at like a rebuilding year.
For sure. I found it very interesting, and this shows the loyalty of the Sarnia Sting fans. Like, I got the word, and then I was like, oh, I can't wait for that to get put out there. And some were like really happy for him. Oh, we are going to miss you. And then some were like, oh my God, why would you do that? I think the simple explanation is he's an overager now.
Yep.
Everybody has their time with a team. If you're able to stay with one team throughout your entire OHL career, I think that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
That says a lot about somebody. And he was definitely a leader, and they said it very well in the press release about wanting to, build a campaign towards building strong players, building positive mind, all that stuff. And he was certainly a part of that. He was huge in the community. Ben Gaudreau, like all the other players, were expected to go out and be in community events. Ben went above and beyond, and he would show up at different local events around the area on his own time, on his own dime.
And he was
great. I think that says a lot to who his personality is.
Yeah, he was great out there. It didn't matter if you were, an elderly person who's been a Sting fan since the beginning of it in the 90s, or a little 7-year-old kid who doesn't know much about hockey, and this is like the first rate. He was amazing with the fans. He always had that smile that would just, light it up, make people feel super comfortable with it. And it's, he was definitely a great leader for the team, and just a great ambassador for not only the Sarnia Sting, but even for the city of Sarnia when it came to, Benny Gaudreau was synonymous with Sarnia hockey for a lot of people.
Yeah, he played a great role here. Now, speaking of, and Benny, we're going to miss you for sure. Safe travels, and good luck to you in this upcoming season, because we will be seeing the Erie Otters
November 5th.
Very soon, right?
We do play them on the road at their barn before then.
That's right.
But they will be back here November 5th.
2 weeks.
It's
coming up.
Before we move on from Gaudreau, though, I would like to say, what he has done here, he was right now he's the winningest goalie in the OHL.
Yep.
What he has done here, he was between the pipes for us on our greatest season that we ever had in the franchise's history. I think he's the only goalie for the Sarnia Sting to ever bring home a World Junior gold medal. So he's not, and I've said this a few times, but it's like saying it here, he's not just leaving behind great memories of him. He leaves behind a legacy.
For sure. Definitely a great way to put that. Benny, all the best to you, buddy. And we'll keep talking about him, I'm sure, when we do see the Otters and them together, and we're doing a broadcast here. We'll be talking about you behind your back some more, Benny.
Played his first game last night with Erie, got the win in OT. So
right, there you go. Well, continuing on, speaking of World Juniors, this is really super exciting, but at the same time, not really any kind of surprise, in my opinion, to see Alan Letang named the head coach for the World Juniors. Of course, he was there last year as an assistant coach to see this now, and this is going to, I saw his wife posting on Facebook, they're going to be spending Christmas in Sweden, right? So,
I mean,
congratulations. But this is a coach, we've talked about it many, many times. We always talk about the players, but the team behind the bench here, all former Sarnia Sting players at one point in their career, definitely Al Letang, and he's seen some of the NHL in there as well in his career. A great resume. Why not have him?
Absolutely. And we talked about this a lot. Like, we focused on the coaching a lot last year throughout that season. And,
great leadership.
Team Canada Hockey could not ask for a better leader behind the bench than Al Letang. And we talked about his style. We talked about, he doesn't pull any punches. He doesn't, hold back on anything. He tells these players what they need to be told. He's not coddling them. He's not babysitting them.
Not at all.
He's out there. He's being a coach. And that's exactly what these guys need. And it's perfect. Like I said, you couldn't ask for a better person behind the bench.
It's worked out well for this team as well.
Most
definitely.
Definitely.
Obviously there's the talent on this team that brought them to where they were last year in this season, but we've already seen great growth here, and over the last few years since Alan Letang has showed up, we've seen a shift, I think, in the way, behind the philosophy of the Sarnia Sting. It's always been positive for sure. But I think there's been a lot of relationship building that has gone on here between the coaching staff and with the players here, and I think that's part of Al Letang's philosophy.
Oh, most definitely. Like this team, this is a completely different team since he's taken the reins. You can see the impact, week to week. You can see the impact that these kids are having out here on the ice. Like you can't say enough good things about Alan Letang and his style of coaching and what he brings to the table, both for the Sarnia Sting and on the global stage of the World Juniors, taking the helm for Team Canada.
Yeah, for sure. Here's a guy who knows how to travel too, by the way. Alan Letang's done a lot of traveling there, and I know he's got a very, very supportive family right beside him all the way. So congratulations, Coach Letang, for taking the reins for the World Juniors. That's going to be lots to talk about here when we're watching that when that happens. Again, happening in Sweden this year, right? So awesome.
I'm not jealous.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's earned it. You haven't. Let's go to our starting lineups here. I had it ready. And before we do that, like I always, Jay Peckham talks a lot about certain players that he's had his eye on for some time that are still with this team. Is there anybody that's standing out this season so far for you that you kind of set that expectation for last year?
So far, I'm really enjoying, Captain Cooper.
Yeah, he's great.
Honestly, I was kind of surprised that he got the C.
Why is that? I
don't know. I just didn't see him as. He was good, but I didn't. I'm not behind the scenes. I don't see it like a lot of people see it. I can see it. It was one of those things I think I just had my blinders on.
Yeah.
I really was thinking it was going to go to, Marco Sikic, or to possibly, I heard the rumors of, Easton Wainwright going to be getting it. I didn't even, in my mind, Cooper Way wasn't even in the equation. But then they made the announcement, and I've seen, how he is out on the ice, and you hear the stories. I honestly think I just had the blinders on, because looking at it now, it makes so much sense. He is a great leader in the locker room. He's a great leader out here on the ice. So, they made a great decision in
we talked about that,
him.
Jay and I, at the last game, about it's not just about your player skills that give you the qualities needed to be a leader and to be a captain of a team. There's a lot of relationships that happen there, and there's a lot of behind the scenes that the rest of us don't get to see, and how he is with the other players. And I think it also has something to do, I would think, with how that captain is with the coaching staff as well, because sometimes the coaching staff sends the message, and then maybe sometimes the coaching staff sends the message to the captain, who needs to pass it on to the other players. So very excited to see that, though. And, of course, like you mentioned, Sikic and Wainwright in there as the alternatives for this team as well. Tyson Doucette is somebody that we've really been seeing a lot out on this ice lately.
Definitely impressive for sure. I don't know, I was watching him the first couple of games, and it was like, where'd this guy come from? Like, he's a great asset to the team out there on the ice this year. With how much we lost from our team from last year, to have someone like Tyson Doucette out there who's able to put up the numbers like he is. And he's he's not just good at putting the puck in the net. You watch him moving around there. He can pass that puck. He can play some great defense down in our own zone.
Yeah.
So, like, an amazing person to have on our side, because, I mean, he's just one of those guys, he has a bright future if he continues down this path.
Yeah, I think there's a great lineup of talent on the Sarnia Sting this year. The question is always brought forward, how are we going to do this year? I don't know if I'm out having a pint, somebody's always asking me, and I'm like, well, it might be too early to tell. I mean, there's still some trades that can happen at this point, but I really see a strong foundation out there that has been built, and to the additions of what has happened out there, let's talk about Dalen Moses out there. He's already showed up in multiple ways out there for this team.
Yeah, from everything I had heard about him when they first brought him in, and from what we saw from him in the preseason, the reports, I thought he was just going to be a big thumper guy who was going to be, that big physical presence, kind of in, now that we're lacking that with Nolan Dillingham. I haven't seen that much out of him in that respect, but he's doing a lot of great things out there on the ice. Yeah. I was expecting him just to be throwing the body around, be that intimidating force to kind of hold those other teams at bay when we're in our own zone. But I'm watching that kid move the puck around. Yeah. I'm watching him, create some plays and make some plays and getting involved there. And he's not just that. He is a great playmaker. He can skate. He can pass. He can shoot. Yeah. So he's so much more than what I was expecting out of him. So that's a great thing to see.
It's been a great. Hey, how you doing? Come on around here. Here you go. Go Sting, go. The fans are here and excited. Yeah, he said that very well. I mean, and we had a post-game press conference with him as well. And, of course, after we beat the Sioux, where he came from, right?
Yeah.
And he had a smirk on his face. He's like, I was happy to beat my team.
Well, that's always happy. That's always fun to do.
Friendly competitiveness there, but he did very well. That was a great game, 7-4. Mm-hmm. Moving forward now, before we wrap things up, we're back here again tomorrow night against the London Knights, and there's definitely, we don't even have to say the rivalry that is going on and has for many years between these two teams and what we can expect tomorrow evening.
Absolutely. If you're a fan of the Sarnia Sting, if you follow the Sarnia Sting at all, you don't have to say anything more than London Knights.
Right.
And we know what we're going to expect tomorrow night. It's going to be...
And a Saturday night.
And a Saturday night.
Saturday night's all right for fighting.
And I think we're going to see a lot of that. And I'm hoping that the only problem with that is we're playing Flint tonight.
Yeah.
And Flint is, what's a nice way to put it? Kind of a bunch of bullies, and they like to throw hands and like to get rough.
Yeah, and here's the thing with that. We look at their stats so far. They have not won a game yet this season. They were missing a couple of key players that are now back. And I think they're hungry too. If I was down, I hadn't won a game yet, and I do have some strong players that are back in the lineup tonight that weren't there previously. I think this is not a cakewalk tonight for the Sarnia Sting.
No, definitely not. But if Sarnia can come out to an early lead with that frustration of not having the best season thus far, if we can come out to a quick lead, I think we're going to see Flint probably change gears.
Okay.
And I don't think we're going to see them playing hockey so much as they're going to be here to hurt some people, and that's not what I like to see, and that's why I'm not a big fan when Flint comes into the building. But, it's not anything that we haven't been able to handle as of late either.
The Sting's just going to have to learn how to react to that, as that's something we've talked about previous seasons on. We've gotten a little better at responding in the aggression way, but we'll see how that plays out tonight. But 10 minutes away now from the Sting coming out. Of course, we will have post-game press conference later tonight after the game. Lee Bazeley will continue to join me for the rest of these broadcasts. So until then, hi, Jay. Hope you're having fun at the wedding. Whatever.
Put down those shots.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Put that away. Catherine's with him. He can't get in trouble tonight, I'm sure. All right. Well, once again, live from the Sarnia Sting Concourse, I'm David Burrows, as always, and this is my friend Lee Bazeley. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Go Sting, go!